Look at me. In here all undressed. Not doing what I'm supposed to do. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. Please bear with me. Please bear with me, sirs and misses. Hold on. Let me put my gear on. Haven't had it on in a few days. My favorites, anyway. Had on the other ones. Let me see. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Throwback Thursday. Let's get real about relationships Thursday. It's the Daily Go-Getterism show all up in your area. How you feeling? Spending the whole relationship mad at each other. Spending the whole relationship mad at each other. What do you know about being in a relationship with somebody? And I'm not saying that you don't like them. You may be deeply in love with them. You know, the crazy thing about love, the crazy thing about relationships is that you can be deeply in love with somebody and be totally resentful of them at the same time. You can be deeply in love with somebody and be resentful of them at the same time. You can love somebody, and be mad at them the whole ride. Yeah. Love somebody. 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 Still mad at him. Love somebody. Love somebody. Love somebody. Love somebody. Love somebody. Love somebody. When was the last time you loved somebody? Was she short and sweet, straight hottie? Well, sometimes it be like that. Sometimes you really just in it just to get some cash. Love somebody. Love somebody. Regardless of your reason, you know when the season comes, you gonna be out there hung out strong and feel like you can't leave. Even though you so mad at him, you can't breathe. Feels like you're having an allergy attack, but you got still what you gotta do. Stack your dough so y'all can go where y'all wanna go. Hang out with each other, yo. Love somebody. 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 When was the last time? When was the last time you fell in love? You felt like you fit together just like a hand and glove. And above all, and I don't care what nobody say, we gonna be together for our dying days. Even though we never on the same page. Sometimes I get so angry, I'm in a rage. And it should never be like that. But I love you more than anything, it's not just a cat. But speaking of the cat, you be having me deep all up inside of that. Yeah, got a brother strong. At the same time, we want you hung. Y'all know that it sounds violent, but it ain't like that. I don't remain silent. Gotta say what I gotta say today, cause you know what to go. Yo. Love somebody. 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 When was the last time you were so deep in somebody's heart from the very start? You felt like it was sketched out like art. Is the fit to go? I get all tongue-tied when I think about my baby. You know how it drives me crazy. And I be messing up when she gone, but when she around, I be like, yo, it's really on. It never gets to that point, but you understand what I'm talking about. Yo, sometimes the baby make you mad. Sometimes it really makes you sad. How can you be so deep in love and mad at the motherfucker and above all, everything and the fray. We gonna have this conversation today. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't know what the time it is, and we won't know how it's gonna go later on. Yo, we gonna talk about it. Do it through the song. I said, love somebody, love somebody, love somebody, love somebody, love somebody. Love somebody, 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 love somebody. Love somebody, love somebody, love somebody, love somebody. But you know what I'm talking about. Maybe you've been there, maybe you haven't been there. Tonight we are talking about been mad at each other the entire relationship. Now that might not exactly be true, but how long do you have to be mad at somebody before you start to look at the whole situation like, yo, this thing ain't never worked out right? It doesn't have to necessarily be 100% true, but it can feel like it. Let me ask y'all this. Let me ask some of y'all this. What's the longest you have ever been mad at somebody you were actively dealing with? Somebody that you were maybe in love with, were actually boyfriend and girlfriend with, maybe even engaged, maybe even married. What's the longest that you have held a grudge, even if you didn't play the grudge out all the time? Because sometimes you can be mad at a person and still accommodate them. Sometimes you can be mad at a person and still do for them. Sometimes you can be mad at a person and still do what you're supposed to do. Not just off of responsibility, but because you signed up for it. So you are the type of person that honors your obligation, or you honor your word. It doesn't necessarily have to be an obligation, because a lot of people might look at the situation like, well, if we're not married, there are no obligations. I don't have anything that I have to do for you. You don't have anything that you have to do for me. Well, what's the longest that you've been pissed off with somebody that you love? What's the longest that you've been married, mad, that you love, that you love? What's the longest that you had a chip on your shoulder? What's the longest? Talk to me. What's the longest that you been pissed off and didn't say nothing? What's the longest that you have been resentful? Still sucked it up. What's the longest? Hit the like button, y'all. Share the show. Yeah. Let's have this conversation tonight. Let's make it all right. Soothe the pain. Make it rain. What's the longest, baby? What's the sacrifice, baby? Tell me. Talk to me. It's gonna be all right. Yeah. Some of y'all mad right now. I know how it be. Yeah, I really do. Yeah. Everything's gonna be alright. Thursday night. Some say Friday. Not me though. Yeah. Yeah. Get that groove right. Leave some tension. Kick it off for suspension. It's gonna be alright. Yeah. What? All right. Urban Therapy with Sun 752, and this the daily. It's the daily go-getter-mism show. You think it ain't when it is? You think it won't when it is? We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing, taking all fast lane, no coasting, and everything is gonna be all right. We talking about been mad at him for many a night. Still together, still living together, still in holy matrimony, and it's real, it ain't phony. I can talk about them, but you keep your name out their mouth before I have to knock you out. Now just let me tell my story. I don't care how nasty, disrespected, and gory, that it gets. Yo, just listen to the word and don't say shit. I gotta talk about mine. Sun 752, the sun shines. Do you understand that? For my baby girl, yeah, I go to bat. Do y'all understand? Yeah, well, you really should. Sometimes it's crazy as hell, but it's still good. Better than with anybody else. So what we gonna do is go for self. Yeah. All right, let's get it popping, y'all. Let's have this conversation tonight. I hope y'all ready. Are you ready? Are you ready? Throwback Thursday. Let's get real about relationships Thursday. So how y'all doing, man? Let me give a shout out to my people. Say hello to everybody. T carry right morning, noon, and night. It's always great to have my peoples going directly into your site. And Knuckles says, yo, you good? Might have to give it up, Unc. Shit ain't therapy for real. You know not of what you speak, and that's okay. I heart Oakland. I need your right address. Yo, go back to the email and send me your correct address so you can get this shirt. You're making life hard. Happy Buddha, what's good? Glad to see the sun show tonight. That's what I'm talking about. Cheryl Halsey, what's up, man? Good to see me some you. Good to see all y'all. Appreciate that. Appreciate the membership, Buddha, and the super chat. Oh shit. Says very glad to see the sun show tonight. Many blessings to the sun man and the audience. Yo, well, many blessings to you. And I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Thank you. Appreciate you mucho. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. So, spending our whole relationship mad at each other. Can you relate? Have you been there? Have you ever been anywhere close to there? Have you been close to that type of situation where you may love a person, but that hasn't stopped you from being pissed off at them a lot, frustrated with them a lot, in the wrong kind of awe of them? Do you understand what I mean when I say in the wrong kind of awe? Like normally when you're in awe of somebody, you're like, wow. I've never seen or known anybody who could do something like they doing. But when you're in the wrong kind of awe, you're like, well, who the fuck does that? Who does that? Like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? You understand what I'm talking about? In the wrong kind of awe of someone. In the wrong kind of awe of someone. And you can go on in a relationship still deeply and madly in love with somebody, but realize that you're really just in this relationship because you're madly in love with them. They may not have the redeeming qualities they even deserve for you to be there. You may be wondering, what the hell am I doing here most of the time? And that can be very, very frustrating. And the craziest part about this whole situation is sometimes none of this even matters. None of it comes into play until it's breakup time. Have you ever known anybody that didn't do hardly any complaining until it's breakup time? And then all of these horrors come out, all of these stories come out, all of these incidents of disrespect and uncertainty and just chaos and messiness come out? Yeah, it's crazy. And it happens. It happens. People will put up with a whole lot of stuff in the name of love. People will put up with a whole lot of stuff in the name of love. It be like that sometimes. Happy Buddha says, had a girlfriend once who just stayed mad no matter what I did for her. It was taxing to the 9th degree. Now, so you're saying that her being mad about either the world or at you all the time made you counter mad. It's like somebody suing you and they don't have a basis to sue you, so you counter sue them. Like, yeah, well, you know what? I'm only mad at you because you mad at me. You treat me like shit, and so I'm returning the shit to treat you like. And you know that's immature, and you know it ain't right. And then and that's one of those things that can have you in the wrong awe of somebody. In the wrong awe of somebody, wondering like, why am I acting out of character like this? And why are you making me act out of character like this? What are we doing? Why are we doing this? For what? Pourquoi? Pourquoi? ¿Por qué? Like, what are we doing? And you don't want to be with somebody that has you asking yourself, why am I with this person? But sometimes you have to ask yourself the question, and sometimes you don't even really want the answer. Because you know, when you know you're in a unhealthy situation, you know you're going to analyze and audit that situation. Like, what am I doing? Why am I here? Why are we here? Why am I allowing myself to be in this place? The place is kind of comfy, but it's like a comfortable prison. You ever deal with somebody that's really, really moody? So they're making you become moody? Now, I'm not saying that you're weak because you let somebody change your emotions for you, but think about it. When you are dealing with somebody who has a bunch of unpredictable emotions, it's going to have an effect on how you deal with them because there's no consistency. They're constantly throwing you off. And that's like messing up your whole equilibrium, causing mad stress. Shit like that can make you break out in hives or something. Shit like that can make you be getting all kinds of ear, nose, and throat infections. You know what I mean? You getting colds and flu and don't even know why. It's because you are off balance all the time. People, we're creatures of habit. We look for consistency, especially when we're trying to get to know somebody. Now, you have to ask yourself, what am I doing in love with somebody who acts like I don't even really know them? And how can you say you really know a person if they are acting like a different person every day, like they on some schizophrenic shit? What's going on? What are we doing? You moody bitch. What a guan? Aaron Strassenberg says, nice beard. Appreciate that. Did I say your name? Strassenberg. You said, I need a traditional woman. What is a traditional woman? What's a traditional woman to you, I should ask? What is a traditional woman? Because, I can kind of figure out what you mean by a traditional woman, but you should probably define it better than I should or could, because what's traditional for you might be different than what's traditional for me. And what's traditional for some people might be different than what's traditional for a lot of us. When you think about tradition, we probably all come from families that have different traditions. You said not a modern woman. You know, we did a show last night talking about Shannon Sharp. Like, what would you do if you were Shannon Sharp? And unfortunately, I did that show last night, and then after I thought about the show afterwards, and I realized, like, I could never be in the situation that Shannon Sharp is in. I could never be there. Shirley Sherrill, the world's most precious and greatest pearl in the world. Shirley Sherrill, the world's most precious and greatest pearl in the world. What's going on, man? How you feeling? Good to see me, some of you. But yeah, I could never be in his situation because I wouldn't put myself there. I don't understand. And now I'm going off script a little bit. I'm going to get right back to where we're supposed to be. In the meantime, y'all, please hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. I couldn't ever see myself putting myself in a position that Shannon Sharp put himself in the position of. Like, I couldn't see myself being a 54-year-old man messing around with a 17 or 18-year-old. I'm going to put it in layman's terms. I'm going to talk about this in adult terms. There is no way I'm going to let my dick get hard for no goddamn teenager. It ain't going to happen. I don't care if it's OnlyFans. I don't care if it's a strip club. I don't care if it's in a porno. Not going to happen. And for you to be a rising star, he was already a well-known public figure. But the contracts that he had on the line, you know, it's tragic to see somebody drop and fall from grace over some pussy. But, you know, pussy is literally the leader of straight men. It's literally the leader of straight men. You know? The leader of straight men. Shout out to Nickelback. But, yeah. Sacrificing your health is one thing. Sacrificing your whole livelihood. So you get to keep your health, but you're going to lose all your money and all your respect. Now, I've seen people online try to advocate for the bull and say, well, what if the tables was turned? It would, you know, y'all wouldn't be saying nothing if it was a dude who was 18 or 19 years old and the woman was all up on him. Aaron Strassenberg says, is she legal? Yeah, she was. Well, I'm not sure if she was of age when he met her, because he said that he was in a relationship with her for a couple of years. She's only 19. So a couple of years takes her back to being 17. So she wasn't legal at the time. She might be legal now. But I ain't gonna front. If he was in his 30s, I still think that it's a little taboo. In your 40s, I'm not co-signing that. And as a matter of fact, anything above 35, I can't do that. Like I said, my daughter's 19. I'm not trying to hear that shit. So a 54-year-old man, Hall of Fame tight end, big time podcaster, sports analyst on ESPN, he got the world at his feet. And it's literally going into the tampon. Aaron says, sometimes you got to get the girls young before they are corrupted by the world. Happy Buddha, I imagine that you're asking, what does he mean by that? Because I don't think you asking me. Because what the fuck? Sometimes you got to get them young before they come. Nah, man. Nah. Nah. We not doing that. We not doing that. And maybe you doing that, but when a 54-year-old man with an 18-year-old or a 17-year-old or even a 19-year-old, even a 20-year-old, I can't see it. What would a 50-year-old man, a 50-plus-year-old man and a 20-year-old, What do they have to talk about? Literally, what would they have to talk about? How would they relate to each other? How they getting down? Evelyn Royston says, Shannon needs to leave them snow bunnies alone. Shit, I wouldn't give a shit if she was African. I wouldn't give a shit if she was African, Asian. I wouldn't give a fuck. I wouldn't care if she was an alien from Saturn. Where's Saturn? I don't know. Maybe somewhere out there in the galaxy in the Milky Way. All I'm saying is, there's no way that this is a... I was trying to take the liberal approach and say, well, you know, I don't think it's appropriate for an older man to be messing around with a young girl like that. But, you know, hey, it's the way of the world. It's been going on for generations. Who am I to say? But when I realized that she was only 19 and this motherfucker was 54, you know, well, he's 56 and he'll be 57 in June. He's a June Cancer. So I think he's like, his birthday is like June 27th or some shit like that. Come on, man. What we doing, Shannon? I mean, really, what we doing? That shit nasty as fuck. That shit nasty as fuck, man. You know what I mean? That's not something that I can't get on that train. I can't ride for him. You know what I mean? So if somebody tried to bring me that comparison, I can't rationalize that comparison. Somebody asked me, well, what would you do if you were Shannon? Somebody asked me that. I said, you know what? Normally I would tell you what I would do if I was somebody else, but I can't tell you what I would do in this scenario because I would not be him. There's no way I wouldn't be him. The only thing I can say for him is that he should get a good ass lawyer because he can't be right in this situation. Even if she's wrong in accusing him, he can't be right in this situation. He can't be. But why? Because he's her grandfather. That's why. He's her grandfather. So if she's setting him up to take his money, it's because he raised her to do it. I don't give a fuck if he only met her 2 years ago. Motherfucker, you got 56 years of wisdom under your belt. You done been all around the world. You done had all kinds of cameras put in your face. You done signed major contracts, fulfilled them. You are Hall of Fame tight end. Broke records. Nobody has done what you have done as a tight end, an NFL tight end. And this is how you going out? You know, like at least get a 25-year-old. All right, so you got a 30-year difference. Like, damn, son. Damn. You older than her like a young grandfather. You know what I mean? One of them teenage pregnancy grandparents. My man Troy Diesel is in the house. What up, Troy Diesel? Crispy Bacon. Michael Lola. Michael Lola says, if I was you, I would try and grow hair. If I was you, I would eat a dick. But I'm not you, and you're not me. I'm bald. You got to get where I've been. I've been where you are. You got to get where I've been. Evelyn said, what do you think? What would you think if it was an older woman and a younger boy? It doesn't matter. With that age difference, I'm not co-signing that. There's no way it can be okay. There's no way it can be okay. I'm so fucked up over this shit. I'm almost saying like it's okay for her to sue him. Cause we're not doing this one. When it was Bill Cosby, excuse me, when it was Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, all of them, I'm like, all right, I can see how, this might not have been right and this might have been manipulated. Nah, man, not with that age difference. Sorry. We got nothing to talk about. I'm sorry. 54 and 18, 54 and 17 or whatever. No, thank you. Nah, I'm good. All right. Oh, Evelyn says, he must be trying to show us he's not gay. Well, you remember he had a sex tape out last year. They leaked because people have been saying that he got some sugar in his tank. Remember last year, he had a sex tape that was leaked. So it was supposed to be like, okay, well, I guess he is straight. Whatever. I mean, that's only that sex tape. I don't know. But I'm not concerned about his sexuality. It's not my concern at all. Listen, man, I may not be a Boy Scout, but that don't mean that I'm not concerned about the youth. You know what I'm saying? Like that's nah. Evelyn says in Texas they consider a girl to be grown at age 17. Oh yeah? Then how come she can't drink? Because 18 is the legal age. 17 is not legal in any state. So maybe on a personal level, they might consider her to be they may consider somebody to be grown at 17, but not legally. It says, who made the laws. I mean, I get it. But the same people who made the laws are the same ones that'll fuck you up with them laws if you get out of line. Stay woke. Happy Buddha says, I'm Asian, and I have to say we have the most beautiful women of all. Haha, no offense to anyone in chat. I mean, Asia is a big place. So I don't know if you are Oriental Asian, or maybe you from Pakistan, or India, or Indonesia. Asia is big. You could be Russian. Are you Russian? Russia is in Asia. Afghanistan is absolutely in Asia. Right in there. So, yeah, you might be right. That y'all might have the most beautiful women of all. Dark and light. Slanted eyes and regular. Just say it. I ain't even mad at that. Damn, Aaron Strassenberger on some other shit. He says he doesn't need to talk to her. He just needs to raise his kids and obey him. She just needs to raise his kids. They don't have any children together. Well, maybe you should go get some. Maybe you should go get some facts of the case. I don't know. It's whatever. All right. Let me see. All right. Let me see what y'all. Make sure I get on board with y'all. All right. Happy Buddha says a lot of those kind of folks know exactly what that is. He might know the young girl is only there for the money, and he might be okay with it. Some folks just don't care. Well, it was obviously a money thing because I think he knows her from her OnlyFans. So she a young girl with an OnlyFans. That's how she making money. And from what I understand, she was, she had a good thing going. She got a good thing. She was making mad cake. She was banking hard on that on her OnlyFans. So I mean, if you meet somebody from an OnlyFans, yeah, you already know you got to pay. I don't think Shannon had no problem, giving up a couple of dollars. He got money, but obviously he had more than just a financial transaction relationship going with her. According to the leaked audio, he was definitely fucking her. And he was fucking her raw too. Cause she said to him, yeah, I want you to put that baby juice in me. There's only one way you can do that. One way. Evelyn says, no shame in their game, I guess. Shit. I don't know, man. I don't know. Happy Buddha says, when I often see these older dudes running around with 18-year-olds.
You have a call from.
Sure.
All right, hold on a second. When I often see these older dudes running around with 18-year-olds, I often think that is the only reason he's with her is because it's illegal to go lower. You know what? I never thought about it from that standpoint, and it's not out of the realm of possibility, I don't think. Oh, Happy Buddha says, East Asian, haha, Japanese. Well, Japan ain't even really on the continent of Asia. It's not. It's an island. Well, it's not an island because it's too big to be an island, but it's out there in the ocean. It's not attached to the continent. Taiwan. I don't know. Y'all can say y'all Asian, but if I was y'all, I'd be like, I'm not Asian. I'm Japanese. I ain't on that. I'm not part of that landmass. I'm not on that continent. Look, there's water all around my shit. Y'all gotta come to Japan. I'm not like China, all locked in. That's what I would do. If I was Japanese, I'd be like, I'm Asian. I ain't no Asian. You must think I'm Vietnamese or something. No Asian over here. I'm Japanese. And you know how ethnocentric Japanese are. Japanese believe that they heritage goes back, way back. Like Chinese. We better than the Chinese. And all those old peasant, those peasant Asian countries. I know some Japanese people. That's why I know they think like that. They a little snooty. Nice, but snooty. Okay.
You have a call from.
Hold on. All right, here we go. All right. We have callers on the line. Callers, my man Troy Diesel, and caller with the last number is 9843. Welcome to the Daily Go Getimism Show. Thank you for calling in. What's on your minds tonight? What's good?
What's going on, bro?
Feel like a real man should, man. I'm maintaining, doing the best I can. I refuse to lose.
As you should. Any time a man talks to a woman, a young lady, and at the end of her number is teen, that's when you know it ain't right, bro. Once
Right.
you hit 20, 21, still subjective, but teen, come on, man.
Yeah, yo, you say the same thing I'm saying. Come on, man. What we
Come
doing?
on, man.
What we doing out here?
Come on, man. He should have known better. And then when you do your homework, assignment and start learning more about it, you like, why? Why?
It's nasty. Like, initially I wanted to stand by Shannon, but then I got to thinking about it.
Even son, where was her parents at?
Listen, I'm not even getting into all of that. He's her fucking parent.
Yeah. Her grandfather, you say. Her grandfather.
He is. If let's say, hold on. Now you know, and I know, growing up in the hood, right around the way, we knew somebody. We knew girls and dudes that either got pregnant or got somebody pregnant when they was like 14, 15 years old. So by the time they children became 14, 15 years old, if they followed that same cycle, which they often do, not all the time, but often. So if they have a teenage pregnancy, you might be a grandfather at 32, let's say 35 years old.
Yeah.
So you add on another 20 years to that.
Yeah.
Yo, he's her granddad, legit. If she just got out of the 12th grade.
Damn.
He is another 3 12th grades ahead of her.
She was still doing trigonometry while he was on Club Shake Shack.
Man, that motherfucker in like the 71st grade, and she's just in the 13th.
The 71st grade. Oh man, boy, the bullshit. So, and the fucked up part is tonight he has a nerve to be on his podcast with Ocho Cinco for the draft tonight.
Yeah, well, he gonna have.
Even though he's not on ESPN, he still have other outlets he can do.
Well, listen, I'm not gonna tell him to stop his money.
No, I'm not gonna say that.
Because he's gonna have to. Because ain't no more ESPN. Ain't no networks fucking with him no more. That's it.
Listen, it's like this.
Yeah, that's a wrap.
I'm not telling you to stop your money, but it's not a good look when you out there doing your thing and you got a case, charges pending against you for $50 million.
Well, no, because he's on a podcast talking about what the fuck he should have been concentrating on in the beginning. Football, sports. Mm-hmm. So he took some time off to actually do what people wanted to see him do. Instead of, being out in the streets, going out like a sucker. But listen, this is what we're going to do. Because we already talked about this shit last night. So what I want to do is, if y'all have some comments, we could do a little bit more commentary about Shannon Sharp and that whole situation. And then we're going to get on topic and actually talk about what the topic of discussion is tonight, which is spending our whole relationship mad at each other. So caller with the last number is 9843. What's good? How you feeling tonight?
Hey, how you guys doing? I'm okay. Mm-hmm.
Always great to hear from you.
Hey, Drew, how you doing? Mm-hmm.
How you doing?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but it's really ugly. A lot of times, and I would think from everything that has happened in the past 10 years or further back, you would think that he would have more respect for himself. Back in the day, men had more respect for themselves. And that's all I'm going to say,
Did they
talk about it too much. But they wanted some respect on their names, you know what I'm saying? And looking at everything else that's been going on, and what I've liked men, it's just very ugly. I always had respect for Shannon Sharp, and I like, wow, this is really cool. People can go there and sit down and talk about what really is, and so forth and so on. But I just think it's very ugly. She's old enough to be her father and the grandfather. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got married at a young age, but I'm glad my daughters didn't follow in, my footsteps. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And they damn sure wouldn't have been fooled because they would have, I would have been all on it, But anyway, that's all I'm going to say. Okay.
Okay.
All right. You guys have a good night.
All right. You have a good night. Thanks for calling in.
All right. Okay. Bye-bye.
All right, Triz. So, listen. What we talking about tonight is spending your whole relationship mad at somebody. Now, of course, that might be an exaggeration, but to me, it's a real thing. You know what I mean? Like, you can be madly in love with somebody, deeply in love with somebody, but really be so frustrated and confused by them, you know what I mean, that even if you put your pride to the side or you put your differences to the side because, you know, for the greater good, you know, y'all might still get along at some times, but it doesn't take away from your memory of some nut shit that they may have done or something that may have been disrespectful that they just kind of blew off, or you know, when only one person is on some bygones be bygone shit, let bygones be. You know, it ain't always both people that's on some let bygones be bygone shit.
Ain't that some shit? You absolutely correct, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
It's always, and the fucked up part is that, you know, the double standard kick in is when they can tell you, they can sit back and say every negative thing about you and things that you might have done or things that they think that you're doing. But as soon as you bring out their reality card, it's like playing Uno. They hit you with reverses and, you know, draw two and wild cards. As soon as you throw your draw four down, then they want to get mad. Mm-hmm. Because they don't want to draw four. They don't want to have to draw four. They don't want to hear the reality. See, there's their reality and there's the reality. So when you say their reality and it's the truth, then they want to come back with more bullshit and insinuate what you've done wrong. Mm-hmm. But that's your perception of what you think I did wrong. But you know, you didn't told me what you done wrong. It's easy. When a person can come to you and tell you the shit they did wrong because they feel as though you humbled enough to say, you know what, let's try to fix that shit. They'll do wrong again. Mm-hmm. Because you humbled yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the sad part about it. You take that shit for granted. And that's in everything. It's not just in a relationship with a woman. It's in your relationship with your kids or your relationship with your friends. Everybody, all of them do that bullshit, man. I mean, and it fucks me up. It fucks me up. I wish I had a fuck you attitude.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Even if you don't have a fuck you attitude, the thing is, by you not being, just because you don't end it, doesn't mean that you feel better about it. So that's what I'm talking about. You can be in a relationship, a long-term relationship, years, decades, and still have been mad the whole ride.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And on eggshells.
Well,
you want to speak when you speak your piece, you don't feel like you can speak your piece.
Well, I'm talking about actually being angry.
Okay,
you know, because think about it. Even if you walking on eggshells, you might be pissed off that about the fact that you got to walk on eggshells. Like, so wait a minute, hold on. So I don't even get a chance to express myself the way that I really want to express myself or get my point across the way it really needs to be gotten across, because I got to worry about your feelings, or I got to worry about, you know, you pulling the trigger on me or whatever. And so we have a situation where one seesaw is in the air and the other seesaw is on the ground, and the one that's on the ground is controlling what's in the air.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you could still be pissed off about that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like what can make you madder than unfairness? So I mean, submitting to unfairness, that ain't gonna make you happy.
That's true.
And it might not always make you sad either. It might make you really, really, you know, you might have pent up aggression that has been building and building and building. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, like, you being stifled, or or you've been told that things are going to get better or that they're going to try, and maybe things get better for a hot second, like maybe just for the weekend or a week, and then they revert right back to their regular shit. People are creatures of habit. So when people get out of their comfort zone, it's not usually hard to get them to pop right back into their comfort zone. And some people's comfort zone is on some bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But when I say, been mad at each other the whole relationship, even the person that's fucked up might be mad at you.
Yes.
And that's that's some crazy shit. But it happens. Just and that's the thing. Just because you're angry at somebody doesn't mean that you're right. But there's some people one thing I learned yesterday, because yesterday was a hell of a fucking day. And it was an eye-opening thing. I know for myself personally, I know I can get to the point where I really think that I can be patient enough to make breakthroughs with certain people. And then sometimes it gets shown to me that ain't it, Chief. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes I get shown that, no, everybody wasn't born with a brain.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And sometimes that's what you're dealing with. Now, I'm not dealing with that in a personal or romantic situation. But when you see how it can go in one situation where it might just be a friend situation or a job situation or a club situation or whatever kind of associated situation it is, you see how that shit could cross right back over into your personal life. You know what I mean? But I've seen clearly how some people can rationalize that they're right even when they're dead wrong. And the other thing that I've learned is that some people are okay being dead fucking wrong as long as you let them feel right. And that's the reason why I don't mind pulling the trigger on certain people. Because just like when you're raising a child, if you don't check that child young, then they grow up thinking that it's okay to be unchecked. So they like, well, my mama and daddy said it was okay for me to act a fool when I don't get what I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna jump up and down, stomp my feet, yell and scream. And if that don't work, I'm gonna fall out on the floor and act a fool until somebody submits and give me what I want, because that's what my mom and my dad did. Mm-hmm. Now, when somebody go with the fuck upside their head, now they're going to be crying victim. I didn't do nothing. I ain't put my hands on them. Well, sometimes some people will go upside your head for acting like a dickhead. It's a lesson that everybody needs to learn. Now, I'm not into, senseless violence, but there, like my daddy always told me, no, there's sometimes violence is the answer. Sometimes. Everything has its place. So yeah, you can't, some people are okay being wrong because they figure if you don't tell them that they wrong, then they right enough. And they heart of hearts, they know they wrong. Mm-hmm. But they like, but this is how the game go. You know what I mean? Like this the game go. This is like business. Yeah, we gonna kick a bunch of people out of their houses and move them out of the neighborhoods and hardly give them any money for their property. But that's in exchange for us being able to develop this area and we can get all of the money. And I'm even going to rationalize that this will be a better neighborhood, and it'll attract better investors, and it'll be more upwardly mobile, and this is going to be a good thing. Those people who were barely surviving, that was living here and all of that, they'll find another place to barely survive. I can't concern myself about all that. You know why? Because this is how the game go. This is how the game go. So I can hide my feelings by this is how the game go. And that's how other evil ass manipulative people do it. Oh, but that's just how the game go.
You know what I don't understand? Like, what is the shut-off point to when a person stops thinking that people are cheating? When you 55 and 60 and 65, don't point in time. Here's a slowdown period. When you a young, vibrant kid and you growing up and you in the teenage years and then you get to your young adult years, then you get to your younger years, then you get to your 30s and your 40s. Once you get 50, it's like running water. When you turn that faucet on, when you're a kid, that water running real heavy. Mm-hmm. But as you start getting older, that water start turning down some. And then it start turning down some. And now all of a sudden it's not a drip, but it's running. But it's slowing down. When does people between men and women, when is the shut-off point of thinking that games need to be played? You know what I mean? Because if you stop the gaming, you stop the hating or the argument. You know what I mean? Everybody want to still play games at 55, 60, 45, 40. That's over with. But people don't look at it that way, man. I'm 55. I don't like playing games. You know what I mean? I don't play Xbox. I don't play PlayStation. I really don't like playing Uno or any type of card game. I don't like playing none of that shit. I'm not patient enough. You know what I mean? So when it comes to
maybe you need to buy
game,
a PlayStation or start playing. Maybe you need to. I'm not even bullshitting. Maybe you need to buy a PlayStation or start playing cards or some shit like that. And no, I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you because it's really psychological. Because once you and I'm sure you know this, but once you start building pathways in your mind, opening up different pathways in your mind, it can help you in some shit that you may have been experiencing all along. You know what I mean? Like, life really is a game. Now you can choose the way that you play it, and you can choose who you play the game with. But you will move from one game to another. So if you put it in your mind that you're not playing any games, then you're kind of closing yourself off to certain possibilities, even though it's just a word. And I totally understand what you're saying. But if a person who don't play no games is in love with a gamer, yeah. But I'm gonna tell you something else. Once again, back to that comfort zone shit. People will go back to what works.
Yeah.
People will go back to what works. Well, when I press this button, that motherfucker go. Now, maybe it's not right to press the button all the time. Like sometimes I press the button even when I don't need him to go. Mm-hmm. But I press it anyway, just to make sure that the button keeps working. So when I get in trouble, I press the button. When I need something, I press the button. When I'm bored, I press the button. And it works every single time. There was a time I thought that the button was broke. But it turns out I spilled some juice on it and it was just stuck. I sprayed it with some Windex or some alcohol on it. And guess what? It kept working. So, all right, so this is what I'm going to do. Whenever I get in trouble, or whenever I get backed into a corner and I have to take accountability or I have to live up to responsibility, I'll press the button. That button could be, oh, I'm turning it around on you. I'm gonna accuse you of cheating. or I'm accuse you of doing the wrong thing. That's why you coming at me. They say that the person that's always accusing you of something is normally the person that's doing something. Well, to get myself out of trouble, press the button. So the button could be an accusation. The button could be a broken promise. A button could be pussy. The button could be a whole lot of things, but they might turn to that button every time you start to get a little stronger, because the button keeps working. It keeps working.
The button, you know what I mean?
Hey, people do what works. And sometimes what works is fucked up. Sometimes what works is fucked up. Like let's say like this. Let's say you knew how to manipulate an ATM machine. Like, you might not have tried to do it. Nobody showed you how to do it. You just, by chance, discovered a way to get extra money out of the ATM without it coming from your account. Now, you know that this is stealing money. But guess what? It works. And nobody knows I'm doing it. Nobody knows. So whenever I get a little low on cash, or sometimes when I just need a little extra money, or sometimes when I just want to buy something, I go to that ATM and I get a little. I'm careful not to empty the joint out, because then they gonna be looking for me. So I just, I get 100 here, 100 there. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been hitting it for like 200-300 a week. You know what I mean? And so far, so good. They must not have a camera working on the joint or something, because I'm still getting this money. So because it works, you're not going to stop doing it. Because it works. Ain't nobody saying nothing. It works. So the same way, like you might not be a thief. Like you don't steal. You happen to mistakenly find out that you could get money out of this machine. So you don't steal from nobody or nowhere else, but this shit works. Evidently, they have enough money in this machine. Whoever owns this machine is okay, because it keeps coming up short, and I keep coming up with a couple of hundred. It's the same way. It's the same way dealing with somebody who is on some bullshit. They will go back to that thing that worked for them. So, oh shit, the dogs is on my scent. They on my trail. I gotta jump in this water so they can get off that trail. The water might be some lying shit, some gaslighting shit, some let me flip it around on you shit, or whatever. But the bottom line is, man, you could be with somebody for years and you could be mad at them. Maybe not mad at them to end it, but I bet you one thing, once y'all finally do end it, all of that shit, all of that frustration, all of that anger, all of those negative emotions that you've been putting up with for all of those years, all that shit gonna come out. And you gonna have to ask yourself, why the fuck I wait until we're done to speak up? Why did I wait until we're done to air out my dirty laundry? Don't nobody fucking want to hear it now. Don't nobody want to hear it. You know what I mean? Shit, go talk to your therapist, because that's going to be the only one that listens to it. The time you got to strike while the iron is hot. So it's not always something major that you're mad at somebody about. You can be mad at somebody, You know, it's just because they don't fucking do what you know that they easily could do and should do. You know what I mean? Like, all right. I don't like to consider myself to be petty, but there's some things I don't like.
Like?
Okay. So I don't like it when I see a little boy that looks like a little girl. Cause they ain't give the motherfucker a haircut. Cause his mom likes, you know, oh look, I don't want to cut his pretty hair. He got his pretty hair. The motherfucker looked like Shirley Temple. The fuck is you doing? Now, and this is not always a single mom situation. I've seen this shit where I'm like, so this boy is 4 years old and he ain't never had his hair cut. She braiding it, and not the boy braids. You know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? She girling this little nigga out. Now I ain't saying that's gonna make him gay or nothing like that, because that don't have nothing to do with it. But the thing is, she think it's cute that people ask, is that a boy or a girl? Cause he got this long ass hair and shit. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking like, man, I wish you was my fucking baby mom. Mm-hmm. That boy hair would have been cut so fast. He can have like a little afro or something like that, but you can best believe nobody is going to get his gender. He would not be a gender neutral baby. Mm-hmm. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. And I've seen dudes just let their girl have their own way. Man, you know, like, listen, I mean, you know how it is. Mama's baby, daddy's me. No, I ain't saying it like that, but you know, he's definitely my son. But listen, I ain't, you know, I'm gonna get his hair cut when the time comes. I'm gonna let her have her way right now. She said that she don't want to cut his hair before he's 6 years old. Like, oh, so he can't get his hair cut for kindergarten. He got to wait till first grade. Okay, check. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm imagining myself being in a situation like that. I know I would be pissed. I'm like, yo, what the fuck you think this shit is? You know what I'm saying? Like, we not raising my baby like this. You know what I mean? That'd be like me cutting my daughter's hair off and making her have a hustler cut. Like, what? Huh? And let me, hey, yo, Troy, let me tell you something, man. You know, speaking of cutting hair, if you married or you are in a long-term relationship with a woman, when if she cut her hair off for any reason besides chemo, you can best believe you are to blame in her eyes. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You know, women do, they do emotional cutting, clipping, chopping.
No, son, men do too. I've done that. I've done some stress cutting.
We not doing that. So anyway, what I'm saying is, when a woman cut her hair off, you can best believe that whether it's to your face,
you're to blame.
Yeah, whether it's to your face or behind the scenes, believe me, you are the problem. You are the reason. So
I did this because of you. You stressing me the fuck out.
Man.
I'm telling you, bro, I can understand everything you saying, man. This is one of the, you know, when you sit back and you come on the live stream and you be listening to everything, it's telling you getting what you're supposed to get out of it. And listen, and that's the whole thing about it. You know, sometimes when you just tell a person, listen, before you even open your mouth, listen to what I'm saying. And even when they listen to what you're saying, and it's completely correct, they don't want to be wrong.
Shit.
They don't want to be wrong so bad that they would find other things to argue about.
Listen.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, let me ask you this. Do you think that there's a big difference between the things that a man gets mad at a woman for and the things that a woman gets mad at a man for?
Yes.
All right, well, let's do this. Let's do this. And I want to do this with the people in the chat too. Please, y'all, if y'all would be so kind to participate, can y'all please write down some things? If you're a man, write down some things that you consider that you know or think that men often, hold a grudge or at least get pissed off at their women for. It doesn't necessarily have to be the thing that breaks them up, but I just want some suggestions, some examples of what are some of the things from a man's point of view. What do you, like men, what do you get mad at your women for? What do you get mad at them about? Whether you hold a grudge about it, whether y'all work it out, whatever. And women, name some things that you get mad at your men about. At men about, your man, not just any random man, but your man. Now I'll start off by this. I might get mad at inconsideration. I don't deal with that a whole lot, but when you somebody who is seriously inconsiderate, that ain't cool. You know what I mean? Or shit, I get mad at lack of communication. Listen, don't make me have to read your mind or guess what you want. Ask for what the fuck you want. Yeah, that's a me thing. I do not like when people don't open their mouths and ask for what the fuck they want.
Insinuating.
You know what I mean? Just ask, listen, the answer is either yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time it's going to be yes. But all of that, well, you already know what I want. No, what am I, a smartphone?
Mm-hmm.
You know how a smartphone, if you write the same things, if you text a lot of the same things, it already, knows what you're going to say. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Unless you got an iPhone, because they ain't as smart as Androids. But you know what I'm talking about. Like, you're not that. You know what I mean? So the same way you want to train me to understand your body language, why can't I train you to open your fucking mouth and ask for what you want?
Mm-hmm. Well, let me say, one of mine would be not owning your shit. Own your shit. When you wrong, accept responsibility so we can get past it. And that's one thing that some women don't do. When you wrong, they're just unapologetic. And when you bring it up, that was just yesterday. Today is a new day. No, bitch. No. We didn't talk about yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't elaborate. We just, you know why the carpet fucked up. And she'd be like, why the carpet fucked up? Because we keep sweeping your shit underneath it.
Are you serious? Like, that is a metaphor, right? You ain't.
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay. You mean sweeping it under the rug?
We keep sweeping all your bullshit underneath the fucking carpet. Why my side of the carpet is so fucking vacuum and it's always dirty because I gotta keep vacuuming the shit you keep throwing in my face. I gotta vacuum my floor every damn day when I'm just keep sweeping your shit. And every time we sweeping your shit, we got a pile of shit on the top of the damn carpet now.
Mm-hmm.
Under the carpet. Because you're not elaborating or you're unapologetic and you want to just assume that it's just over. Of course, that person is so humble that they humbling themselves and saying, you know what? It's not even worth talking about it. It's not even worth talking about it. Let me sweep it underneath. And then all of a sudden, you got a hill underneath your carpet. Instead of just sitting back, listening and owning your shit. You know what? That shit that happened yesterday, I'm wrong about that. I could have went about this a whole nother way, but I decided to do it this way, and I'm sorry. Damn. You know what sorry? How much sorry? You know what the word sorry and how apologize can get you?
A please, a hello,
Yes.
I made a mistake, I'm sorry, and a thank you. That shit
We
can
call
make
it.
that shit can
Aren't they action verbs?
listen. All I know is them shits can keep you out of a lot of trouble. They can actually
Yes.
they can crown you.
Yes.
Because
As a woman,
I see a lot of
if your
men.
name if your name is Queen, you will be the queen.
A lot
You know
of
what I
men,
mean?
yeah, a lot of men have issues with a woman not apologizing. You got to make them do it. You know, really. That's one of the things I haven't had a lot of problems with. Now they've tried to get away with it, but it's like this. It's like when you borrow. If you borrow money from somebody, let's say you borrow a significant amount of money from somebody. That's like okay, you needed 3,000, and I lent you 3,000. Like it ain't really gonna be easy for you to come back and get another 500 after I lent you 3,000 and you haven't paid me any of it back.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you're going to have to show good faith in order to get any more money. I'm going to need at least one of those stacks back for me to, lend you any more. And I'm being nice about one of the stacks. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's the same thing with the apology thing. Like, all right, so if your woman tries to say, I apologize with like some pussy, that probably means you ain't been getting that pussy. Because that shouldn't be like if she's apologizing with pussy, that means you've been in deficit for a minute. So you gotta check yourself over that. But as far as an apology is concerned, all I'm really saying is you can't allow people to abuse you and get away with it because they'll continue to do it because now it's a regular thing. Like, I don't apologize. I just take my brow off. Or, I don't apologize. I just, come up with some crab legs that night. I don't apologize. I just, finally give you some head. You know what I mean? It's Good Friday. You get head on Good Friday. The last time you got it was 4th of July. It is what it is. God bless America. You know what I mean? Like, you can't. People will treat you the way you allow them to treat you. Now, it sounds simple, and I realize that in real time, you're going to make the decisions that's necessary, but you also have to understand that people calculate your moves the same way that you can predict how some people are going to act and what they're going to do. They do the same thing with you. What matters, what the difference is how much power is in the calculations. So if I know I can calculate that even if I don't do the right thing, they gonna still do the right thing and cover me. Guess what? The times when I do the right things are gonna be less and less and less. Cause it don't fucking matter. No consequences. No consequences.
And that's the whole thing about it. And we call that a double standard. And you keep, and when you sit back and you keep allowing it to happen, my mom always said this to me. She said, Troy, only when you tired, only when you the fuck tired, you gonna make decisions based on what's gonna make you happy. And she was absolutely correct. I mean, sometimes when you make the right decision that's going to make you happy, it can make you sad because the decision that you're making is something that you really don't have to do, but you have to do it to benefit your sanity. You know what I mean? And to benefit your health, and to benefit your mental. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like if a woman know that you don't put your hand on women, then they'll test you and try you. Some women Some women don't know how much you love them. So some women enjoy you putting their hands on you. That's what they're used to.
Yeah, you gotta understand. You gotta
they see
understand where
that
that's
as a way
coming
of
from.
love.
Yeah, well, you gotta understand where that's coming from. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
when a person has been abused, you know. Do you know?
Yeah,
Do you know? You know, this is a controversial, very, very controversial subject. But do you know a lot of women have not reported sexual assault crimes or straight up rapes because
right.
because they actually had an orgasm, and some
So,
and because they felt so guilty about it, like they it was so psychologically confusing because they like, well, how did I physically enjoy the sex act when I was afraid and violated? They like, well, you know, because it can fuck their mind up to where they like, damn, is that what I really like?
mm-hmm. That is. Wow. That's
So,
deep.
you know, like, you know, I don't know if you, yeah, it's a deep situation.
Yeah,
It's a
but
deep,
and I
deep
mean, and
situation.
it's vice versa. I'm gonna tell you a story, right? I'm not getting off that subject because it's pretty much the same thing. I was looking years and years ago. Oprah had a show. Her show was she had a bunch of men on the show, and she said, "How many men in the audience have ever been raped by a woman?" And damn near the whole audience stood up. And then she said, how many men reported it? And damn near all the men sat down. Because they knew that if they reported that people wouldn't believe them because they're men.
Well, yeah.
And that's some deep shit.
And I don't know how, because a lot of men have been sexually assaulted in their lives. Plenty. You know what I mean? Almost as many as women. But it's almost like, for a woman, it's almost like a rite of passage. Not in a good way, but because we expect that. You know what I mean? You know, a lot of men don't report it because they think that, you know, they're going to be looked at as weak because they didn't fight back. Because
they gonna be people. I mean, you go to the police department like, listen, I want to report a rape. They were like, who? Me. So some guy raped you? No, 2 women. They threw me on the bed and they raped me.
I mean,
and then all of a sudden the cops will turn their mouth to the side. Come on, man. Come on. You mean to tell me you had a 3-way and you gonna come in here and talk about you was raped?
See, the thing is, for a man to perform, his dick has to get hard. So his proof of arousal will be there. You know what I mean? Because you ain't doing nothing with a gummy worm. You can lick all day. But
that's somewhat similar to what you just said about women. A woman feels guilty because she had an orgasm. And the same thing for a man. A man will feel guilty because he was able to get aroused and he also had an orgasm. So,
but that's the difference. The way that a man gets aroused and the way that a woman gets aroused is different. Because a woman can have sex whether she's aroused or not. It will be very painful for her. But a man cannot have sex if he doesn't get aroused. So a woman can be raped and, you know, she can totally not enjoy it. But for the women who have reported enjoying it, and that's the reason why they didn't turn a person in or whatever, you know, I'm thinking from their standpoint, they were so psychologically messed up behind that because, you know, having to come to grips with the fact that not only, like, a lot of people accept the fact that they are freaky or something like that, but accepting that you like something that that nobody should like, but you actually dig it. It's like accepting the fact that you a serial killer. Like, I actually like to kill people. I know it ain't right to kill them, but I like to do it. And I'm doing it tonight. Now imagine.
I'm just laughing.
Hey, I'm just saying.
I'm doing it.
Look, y'all gotta excuse me, cause I've actually, studied this shit. You know what I mean? With my major in school and all of that kind of shit, I had to actually learn about this shit. And it's crazy. It really is. So, getting back to the women and the sexual assault thing, like imagine knowing that you like some shit that is totally off limits. This is not just some quirky shit. This is not just some different shit. This is not like liking peach milk and there's no such thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's chocolate milk and it's strawberry milk and it's regular milk. There's no peach milk. Well, you found a way to have peach milk or Lowry seasoned salt milk and some old crazy shit. But you're talking about something that can have devastating mental implications, and this is something that you're getting yourself off on. You're going to start questioning what kind of person you are. Like, what kind of monster am I? Like, I can be totally taken advantage of and enjoy it. What kind of shit is that? It's twisted. Now, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about that's the way a woman might feel. You know what I mean? And she might feel like I'm going to forever be in danger. One time my brother was telling me that he was messing around with this chick, and when she really started to enjoy it, when she was starting to get her shit off, she started yelling, "I'm not going to tell nobody. I promise. I'm not going to tell nobody." He was totally fucked up over that shit. Like, how long has she not been able to tell nobody at this time? You know what I'm saying? The dark place where she came from is on some other shit. Now I'm gonna switch it back. Now imagine you finding yourself in a relationship with somebody like that. Yeah. Now they may have a bunch of redeeming qualities. Good lover, good friend, maybe they cook, maybe they're a good mother, all of that kind of stuff. But that sexually there's a dark side to them. Unresolved trauma and all of that shit. And maybe you might be mad at them because they don't want to get help for it. At the same time, yeah, she fucked up and shit, but damn. This sexual assault pussy is really the bomb. Look. She done learned to get her shit off from that, and you done learned to get your shit off from watching her. Everybody fucked up now. You understand what I'm saying?
We all need therapy.
It's a trickle down effect. Like
we the fuck all need therapy.
Yo, man, this shit is wild. When it comes to this, yeah.
And that's the thing about it. Shit, and the shit that happened to you as a kid can become a hindrance in your relationship because you're not. And that's where you go back to one thing you don't like is that when there's no communication. Right. And that's where the communication coming at. You sit back and you refraining from saying shit and not telling that person about this, right? And when something happens, it comes out in a way that it affects you in general. It also affects you as the mate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it takes me out. You know, I'm not gonna. You know, and the thing about it is that I'm not gonna put my hand on you because you feel as though that's what you want me to do, because that's not how I show love. You know what I mean?
Hold on.
So
Let me clear up something, because for those who have never been to this show before, I give out examples that may seem like, you know, like I'm talking about myself or whatever, but trust and believe, I'm not talking about myself in this situation. Now, if I was, because I tell.
if you would tell them.
Yeah, I talk about wild shit, but sometimes if you ever see me hesitate, it's because a lot of people listen to this show, and I don't, you know, like, your business is your business, and you never know, because I know thousands of people, so I've been doing this shit for a long time, so I don't mind anybody else telling their own story, but I don't want to take the liberty of telling their story for them, because they may not want their story told. Now, just because I know it and because I have a platform does not give me the green light to just tell them. Now, I've met some crazy people, and I've dealt with some really, really nutty shit in my day. A lot of it I speak about, especially if it happened a long time ago. But still, there's still some things that are unresolved, and there are people that listen to this shit that I've known for decades. So I don't want them being like, let me tell y'all something, man. When you do this shit every day, sometimes you gotta deal with people thinking that you can't be off script. Like you're always on go. Like you can't be serious about anything or just personal one-on-one with people about things. So I've had people accuse me of bringing our conversations to the show, or if we're having a personal conversation, like, yo, don't talk to me like I'm one of those people in your audience. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, this is the real me. So, you know, like, so nah, I ain't, listen, one thing is for sure. I ain't no Shannon Sharp shit going on with me. Yeah, you ain't never gonna hear about, you know what I mean? You ain't never gonna hear about me and no extra young shit, or no sexual assault shit, or no gay shit, or none of that bullshit. We don't play none of them games. I am superstar ready. I don't give a fuck with nobody, no information that anybody ever brings forth at any time in my career. I don't give a fuck how far you go back. And it ain't because I've been squeaky clean. It's because I'm good with any and every last thing that I've done. All of it. So, yeah, you might have got me. Like, yeah, so you had sex with my mom with 3 kids in the room. I'm like, well, it was a 1-bedroom apartment. And it was all her idea. Now, those kids was asleep when I got there. Now, she woke them up. It wasn't me, cause I stayed silent. That shit really happened. I saw the young poor peep out the cover. I was like, yo, this is bad. Did I stop? No. It wasn't my house though. If it was my crib, things would have been different. Their mom was trifling. Anyway, so, but yeah, what up, Joseph? What's up, Joseph Kawa? Thanks for coming through, y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, but that's the thing about it. Like, you know, when I come on here and if I'm saying things about myself, I'm going to tell you, I'm giving you a testimony. You know, because maybe, and some people might be listening to the show and you saying what you're saying, and it's touching a nerve with them because it happened to them. And they never brought that out. And my advice is that if you better get some therapy. Go talk to somebody. You know what I mean? Don't sit back and hold that in, because that could be a hindrance to your relationship with your mate. You know what I mean? If you used to get your ass kicked and this man ain't gonna put his hands on you, right? Then maybe you need to get help, because that's not the type of person that you want to be. If you was verbal abusive as a kid and your mother told you ain't gonna be shit, you ain't gonna, like, I don't understand something, right? People would go to church and be holier than thou and this, that, and other, right? And then you would sit back and tell, like, I had a chick years ago before I met my people, right? My wife, right? She told me how bad her mother was. Her mother didn't do this. Her mother didn't do that. My mom this. My mom that. My mom this, right? But yet you have a relationship with your mom, and you forgave her for all that bullshit that she put you through. You forgive your mother, but you won't forgive your husband for corny shit. And then you go to church and pray to that God, and that Bible states that if you're married, your husband comes before the kids and your mother.
How do you know she hasn't forgiven you?
Cause you can tell. Cause if when a person forgives you, they don't harp on it. They don't reopen that door. Forgiveness means closure.
No, don't.
Forgiveness don't mean keep. When the door is shut, when somebody forgives you, right? When somebody forgives you, right, and you shut and that door is shut. But when you go through an argument and you reopen that door, then you never forgave them. You never forgave them. It's like it's like you got a clothes hanger, a closet full of clothes hangers of the bullshit that your man or that your woman has done. And as soon as the argument comes, like, it takes me out, because a woman would say, they would create a man won't sit back and say shit or bring shit up. But a woman brings shit up, and as soon as a man brings shit up, she'll say, well, why did you wait for this argument to come up? You could have brought that up weeks ago. Well, no, I'm not going to bring it up weeks ago, because at that point in time, it wasn't really, it was on my mind, but I'm like, I'm forgiving you. And you don't want to forgive well, so what? I told you, put the toilet seat down.
See, here's the thing. And once again, this goes back to doing what works. I don't, and trust me, I'm not taking the liberty of thinking that I know your wife better than you do, because how could that possibly be? And I don't want to sound disrespectful. And if I border on being disrespectful, please check me.
Oh no, this is not. This.
Huh?
This is not my wife. This is somebody before my wife.
Okay. But this is what I'm saying. Regardless, because just because somebody, you might, okay, some people might forgive, but but just because they forgive somebody doesn't mean that the evil within them subsides. So let's put it this way. All right. Some people would rather live like a really carefree, seamless, or let's say harmonious life with somebody. They seek out harmonious relationships with people. Some people like that. Some people like that, and some people like the bullshit. You know what I mean?
You
Some
have
people.
a call from.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Some people like the drama. Some people like the back and forth and all that old crazy stuff. So just because somebody might forgive you doesn't mean that they haven't moved on to the next challenge, the next little chaotic, nasty, little messy situation. So yeah, I forgave you for the shit that you did because it was nothing, it wasn't no big thing in the first place. But I'm still gonna bust your balls. I'm still gonna treat you like shit. I'm still gonna fuck you up. And I'm still gonna navigate you, you know what I mean, with my little control over you. Because that's my ace in the hole, and that's how I get over on you all the time. That's my go button. It's my go button. It don't always have anything to do with whether you've done anything wrong. Some people, it's like being in the army. A drill sergeant is never gonna have you be like the good guy all the time. They're gonna be on your ass all the time. They're gonna find something. You know what I mean? That's part of the game. And some people, when they find a mark, they'll keep doing that shit. Like, well, and they'll even convince themselves that you like it. Like, you don't want peace, because if you wanted peace, you wouldn't be with somebody like me. Ain't no peace over here. When you ever see peace? Motherfucker, I got you ripping and running and jumping and ducking. That's what. So they like, there's no way you don't like it, because here you are. You back at my doorstep every day waiting for a treat. So I'm just saying. Caller with the last number 6867. What's good? Gavin.
Yo, Gav, what's up? Troy, what's up, son?
Oh shit.
How you feeling, man? What's on your mind tonight?
I'm feeling pretty good. Things are moving up quite well. No trouble. But
okay.
Here's what I wanted to right? We're talking. I think the conversation is getting kind of like some little shit, right?
Getting kind of what?
Conversation. It's petty, right? So let's say a long-term relationship, right?
Wait, before you elaborate, right, Gavin? When everybody comes together and we all talk, just because you feel as though our opinions are not petty, it's just our opinions. So when you give your opinion, we're not going to tell you that your opinion is petty. We're going to listen to your opinion.
I said we're discussing something petty, Troy. Trying to put some
That's not
conversation and see if your theory holds up. Just let me finish, my G. Right? So you're in a long-term relationship, and you come home with a baby. It ain't her baby. And she decides that we're going to stay together and work this out. Right? So this is a situation where this woman has chosen to forgive you, but you can't, it's not like we can just forgive and forget, because this is an ongoing thing that we have to deal with. And every time the money's short, you have to send to the kids that you never should in the first place, right? What level do you expect when sometimes people do understanding that this is not just a forgive and forget thing, because we're not capable of forgetting?
Right, I can understand that.
Yeah,
I can understand. But what I'm saying to you is that when you harp on past, when you're in a relationship, what makes a person, because the topic is about hating a person throughout your relationship, your relationship, and when you in order for you to get past that part, there has to be some type of forgiveness and moving on to the next experience, which is positive. You have to move to a positive experience. You can't keep harping on that part. Now, if you forgave if a person had a baby, right, and you forgave them, then you forgave them. There is no reason for you to even bring that up anymore. But so when you get in an argument, you get in a disagreement, you bring that up, then you never forgave them. So you never forgave them. You hold them.
understand.
If that's the case, you should never forgive him. You should have broke it off.
Never use the wordness. But do you accept that people can have relationships, continual relationships with the idea of acceptance, forgiveness?
No, I believe that you can have a relationship and accept forgiveness. Yes, I do. But you can have,
I accept.
You can't. That you're not going to. Your relationship is not going to be maintained on an honest level and on a respectful.
I think that's what you said the topic was. Can you accept something you don't about another person, right? And just I genuinely don't accept this, but we're going to move forward. Because I think the idea of forgiveness is asking people for too much. I can accept that this happened, but I can understand that if I put it on a scale, this offense is not the relationship that we have. But you can still be like, this is fucked. And if you keep doing it, I'm going to keep telling you, this is fucked up. So it's not like it's in a sense where if a person asks for forgiveness suggests they're not going to do it again. So what happens in a situation with a person where they have this flaw, right? And so every time they commit this flaw, maybe you get more time between the times that they commit this flaw. So how do you deal with that? Because I'm not a perfect person. I'm not a perfect person. So how do you people think that they have these? So it's not a question. I personally don't know if it's a question of forgiving the person for the flaw, accepting the flaw in the other person.
Well, first and foremost, I think that when you accept a person's when you accept a person's flaws and all, then it's understandable. But once you accept it, you cannot harp on it. Because when you harp on it, it affects the relationship. It's just like if your kids, listen, Gavin. If your kids, if your son or your daughter is an A student, and all of a sudden she drops down to a B, right? And you said something to her about that B, right? And you forgave her. Oh, don't worry about it, Sue, or whatever. I forgive you for that B. Let's bring that grade up. And then all of a sudden she brings it back up, but then all of a sudden she's going out with her girlfriends and everything. Then she's talking to her girlfriend and everything, or she going out, get ready to go out with her girlfriend, and all of a sudden you turn back around and say, look, you get ready to go out. You remember you got a B before. You harping on it after she just put the.
I what you're saying, but here I'll put this on the end, right? We have a situation where something bad happened, but this cannot happen like this, right?
Hold on.
Today he was talking about patterns now.
Hold on. I was. But I want to ask you something before you finish, Gavin. I hate to cut you off, but I want to ask you this. You said something that caught my attention. You said that being forgiven means that you're not going to do what you did again, right?
Yes, because in order for forgiveness, you have to have contrition.
Okay, but what if you deal?
I fucked it up.
No, I understand that, but the thing is, for some people, being forgiven may not mean that they're not going to do it again. It can mean the total opposite. It can mean like, oh wait, I was forgiven for that. That means I just gotta be I just have to be a smarter mouse now and go around.
And that's why, but son, that's why I use the words. The difference in the words for me now between forgiveness and acceptance, right? If you did this, and let's use the word forgive. If I forgive you for doing this, you continue to do this, then I have accepted that you're going to do this. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, you have. What are the reasons where somebody keeps doing something and you keep doing it? You've accepted this. Mm. You've accepted that it snows a lot in Buffalo. You've accepted that the pollen isn't lying. You accepted it. You chosen to live here. We're doing
it. It certainly does, though. You ain't never gonna lie.
Nigga, I was gonna go from Buffalo. I will never come back here. I'll slip back in that fucking.
Yo, man.
We're not doing this. We're not doing this.
You live in Buffalo. That shit ain't for the weak,
the
boy.
other person isn't gonna do it no more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, you accepting something, that's accepting it. But when you forgive a person, that's two different things. If they continuously do the same thing over and over and over again, yes, you're accepting it, but you still gonna keep bringing it up to that person. You have to keep saying something about it. But if you forgave them,
yes, I understand what you're saying. Other person is only wrong if it, and I stop it, right? But it gets a certain amount of time to bring up what the fuck you did, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And if we haven't done it again, then we just move on to the next. But if we're living in a world where we don't know how long you're going to spend, with forgiveness, in order to ask for you have to say, I did something wrong and I won't do it again. That's the only action for you. If it is like, I did something wrong and I don't know when it's going to happen again, I'm like, oh, this is something we're living with.
Yo, Gavin. Gavin, you're I don't know if you're in a bad space or something, but you're breaking up.
No. That's all I want. Son. Yo, y'all fellas be good. Yo.
You're still breaking up though. But thanks for calling in. Appreciate you.
hello?
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand where he's coming from, but that's two different things. Acceptance is not forgiveness. Forgiveness is moving past situations that occurred. And I'm not telling you forget it. You never forget.
Right.
But forgiving is not continuously bringing it up when you go through something or bringing it up, period. Because when you continuously bring it up and you bring it up, period, then you're not moving past a situation where there's a problem. You know what I'm saying?
No, I totally understand what you're. You know what, man? You know, you have to excuse me because, you know, just my experience with human nature. I just don't believe that some people have good intentions. Not everybody wants to do the right thing. You know what I mean? Some people just don't feel guilt at the times when you need them to feel guilt.
There you go.
They don't.
And some people can't humble themselves at the time when you need them to feel humbleness.
Listen, man, I've known people who could run over an animal like a cat or a dog and not give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, didn't even get out to see if it was okay or, you know what I mean? You know, shit like that. I mean, hey, it is what it is. And sometimes you might be dealing with a person who is that way. You know, they instead of dealing with their responsibility, they run away or they blame somebody else or something like that. But, you know, with a little bit of time left, you know, if we're talking about being mad at somebody your entire relationship, this could be a gumbo of a whole lot of shit that you've seen a person do. You know, one thing that you could be mad about a person for years is because they're just not the way that you need them to be. You know what I mean? They may teeter on that line for years, but the one thing that you really need from them, they refuse to deliver, and you know that they could.
And that's the whole thing about a relationship is that you have to change for the betterment of the relationship. When you're not willing to change and she's not willing to change for the betterment of the relationship, then you're going to have clashes. You know what I mean? There can never be double standards. Well, I'm going to go out with my girlfriend and I'm going to hang out there and this, that, and other. Well, I'm going to go out with my boys and I'm going to hang out there and then you call, you hear me having fun. Oh, so you out there just enjoying yourself. You were just out there enjoying yourself with your girlfriends. Double standards. You can't do what the fuck you do And I allow you to do what you do because I want you to live your life. But when I go and live my life and life be life, and you get upset. You cannot do that. So that's what I mean by, it has to be some type of grounds. You cannot sit back and do you and do and this. But see, there's not a common ground in none of it. If there's not a common ground in it, there's going to be the hate part is going to kick in. The hate part is going to kick in. The dislike is going to kick in. The grudges is going to kick in. No matter how much you try to, and then it's going to get to the part that you holding it in so much. You holding everything in so much that I can understand. Like, I would never condone a man hurting a woman. But I can understand it, though. Because I always try to, I told my son this before, my middle son. I said, I would never have a problem with you crying. Whether you cry to your woman, whether you cry to your mother, whether you cry with me. Because if you don't let them emotions out, and you keep it bottled in, it's going to come out some other way. Whether you hurt you, or whether you hurt your significant other, or whether you hurt somebody. Mm-hmm. It's not just going to be them tears could be tears of joy or tears of rage. But if you let nothing, like my son, when he was 11, 12, or 13, I forgot age, he got into his first fight. You know what I told him, son? I said, when you go out there and you fight, I don't give a fuck if you say curse words. He said, why you say that, Dad? I said, because if that's going to get you hype and angry enough to whoop that boy's ass, then go ahead and do it. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I told him that. And that's the thing about it. I'm saying that because at the end of the day, that rage is what's going to get you to that point. But sometimes if you bottle up that rage and you humbling yourself, and that person knows that you ain't going to do this, and that person knows they can do that to you, and and all that build up, that's when you get you see on TV with men killing women and women killing men, because there's an overkill of bottled up emotion. And that's when that champagne cork just pop and everything comes out.
Yeah.
I mean, can we agree on that?
I mean, hey, listen, man, they're different. I think that you always have to find, first of all, we agree.
Right.
Second of all, you have to find your groove for what works in all situations that you're in. And that's whether it's a love situation, a hate situation, and whatever the situation is. But being frustrated with somebody because of who they are, what they are, it can make you mad at yourself for being mad at being mad at them, because you know that they are who they are and they were who they were when you met them, and you may not feel like you have the right to expect them to change for you. Now, I mean, there's some people who insist that you do everything their way and you accommodate them in every way that they can possibly get you to do it. But you can't escape the whole comfort zone thing. People go with what they know. And sometimes what they know is the wrong way. But the wrong way doesn't always wield bad results. Sometimes the wrong way gets you the right shit. Just like door-to-door boosters. Hey. She got shit from the Children's Place. She got shit from Casual Mail. She got shit from Sunshine Blues. She got, you know what I'm saying? Hey. Hey, you from South Philly. But we don't have door-to-door boosters. That was the one thing I wanted to move to South Philly for. I was like, wait a minute. You mean to tell me? I'll never forget, man. It's Throwback Thursday. I'm tell this little story. I'll never forget. When I was in 10th grade, you know how, remember when Boyd's used to be on Market Street?
Yes, I do. Right across the street from where the Scepter building.
Man, they had this fly little Fila sweatsuit in that goddamn window. I used to go downtown just to look at this Fila suit. Cause the shit cost like $1 million, which meant it was $200. You know what I mean? It was $1 million in 86. And this chick named Desiree that was in my class, and she was like, a Fila suit, I can get you a Fila suit for what, like, maybe like $40, $50. I was like, we getting no, I was like, what you talking about? That shit is in Boyd's joint. I think it was like $177. You know what I mean? It was like $177.99 or some shit like that. It was like about $180. And she was like, whatever. She said, I said, all right, tell you what, I'll give you $80 and you give me the sweatsuit. Cause she didn't say how she could get it. She was just like, ain't nobody paying no $180 for no Fila suit. I was like, well, what you gonna get it for? And where from? Because at the time, nobody had no Fila sweatsuits in the whole city.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah, they was the only ones that had it. So if you got one in Philly, you had to have gotten it from there. The market wasn't open like that yet. And so, come to find out, her mom was a boost.
Yeah.
Yeah, her mom was a boost. I never got the suit from her. I never got the suit from her, but I was like, okay. So she understood the world in a different way than I did. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but what worked for her? Because I remember thinking to myself, like, how come you don't dress better then? Shit, my mom was a boost. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, she was okay. You know what I mean? She was okay. But shit, I mean, my mom was a boost. I'd have had that Fila suit.
Yeah.
All colors. What?
Shit, but I mean, we talking about boys though. You very rare you can ride boys. You can see a lot of boys boosting.
Them South Philly boosters get, man, they did shit. Yo.
Listen, my sister knew every one of them. So so I already know.
I was like, I seen them in action. I was like, wow.
Listen, bro, I done had polo shirts, Tommy shirts, Coca-Cola, back when Coca-Cola had the sweatshirt.
Yo, remember 86, dog?
Yeah,
Summer 86. Shit was crazy. So, yeah.
That's the boy, what's his name? Little Pete, he said, how do you forgive and let go? So I know you want to get ready to get off soon. So I think I wanted you to answer that, and I'll give my answer.
I'm going to say this: everything shouldn't be let go.
Right? It's not.
You know what I mean? Everything shouldn't be let go. You got to audit some things, and sometimes the thing that you have to audit the most is the way that you allow somebody to treat you.
Mm-hmm.
Because people will treat you the way you allow them to treat you. So if you don't like to have your feelings hurt, but you're giving all of your love to somebody who does nothing but think that it's okay to hurt your feelings, you got to audit that. And you're going to have to make a decision at some point about whether you can live with that or not. So forgiving for mistakes, I think that forgiveness is probably necessary. For things that are done on purpose, for me personally, I don't practice forgiveness in that realm.
Well, you know what? The thing about the forgiving part is that it's never so much. I can forgive you, but I'll keep things in my mind. I won't bring it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I won't bring it up, but forgiving means just there's no reason for you to bring that up. You know what I mean? If it happened 10 years ago, there's no reason for me to bring that. There's no reason for you to bring that up, or for me to bring. It's 10 years ago. It happened if it happened 2 weeks ago, there's no reason for me to bring that up. There's no reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
When you go through a disagreement, right? When you go through a disagreement, right now, like if I'm on the phone, I'm having a disagreement with you right now. When I talk to you on the phone, we're not elaborating on that disagreement. It's over. Unless it's something funky and we gotta squash it.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it's over. Because when you know each other, you know how to deal with certain situations. If I go through a disagreement with you, when we talk, whatever that situation was, my bad, bro. That's how you deal with a situation when you're going through certain situations with people that's in your inner circle or that you got a relationship with. Let the bullshit go. Because if you keep harping on it, it's going to grow into that hate. And you're going to walk around on eggshells. I don't know if I can do this. Should I do that? Let me think about this. Let me ask her. Now you got to walk. Now you going on. Now you walk. When she just come up to you and ask you something, be like, no problem.
Yeah, but I think the seriousness of the wound has to be taken into consideration. Like,
yes, most definitely.
You know what I mean? Like, I might be able to easily get over a paper cut. But if you shitbag me, I'm not so sure if I'm just going to be able to, forgive that and move on. Because I'm gonna be reminded that the reason I can't use the bathroom anymore is except to have some privacy to change the catheter and this shit bag. Yeah, so certain things have to be taken into consideration.
No, I agree with you.
So there's nothing wrong with forgiveness, but there's nothing wrong with a healthy audit. The IRS don't feel no guilt about taxing your ass. You know what I mean? They don't feel no guilt. All right, man, we gotta get on up out of here. I appreciate you, my dude.
Anytime, man. You know how we do, man.
But tomorrow night is the music show.
Waiting for that music show tomorrow.
All right. We gonna see. We'll see.
Unless I go to the casino and hit the slot.
I hear that. Have a good night, my son.
All right, much love, bro.
All right, peace. All right, y'all. Good stuff. Before we do the birthday shout outs, I want to go over this poll. I want to go over the poll. The poll question was, what do you think is the straw that breaks the camel's back in a relationship? And it looks like 30% of people out of 37 votes, 30% of people said not being able to get along. 5% of people said money problems, financial issues. Interesting that only 5%. That's cool. 27% says infidelity and cheating. I actually thought that would be a lot higher. And 38% said disrespect, disregard, and selfishness. Wow, man. I tell you, man, this is the kind of shit that has people that makes people think that we're really evolving, maturing, and getting better. Because I really would have thought that a lot of people would have said, I really would have thought a lot of men would have said money problems, financial issues. Because when you are a provider or a trick, that's what you concentrate on the most. So she keep fucking up the money, no matter how much money I get, she keep messing up the money. Or if it's in reverse and she's the breadwinner and he's just spending all crazy, messing up joint accounts and all of that kind of stuff. If your finances are your source of security, it's going to really, really throw you off when somebody keeps damaging that. So disrespect, disregard, and selfishness. I'm impressed, honestly, because that shows that people are looking for a deeper level of either commitment or unity, and that's a good thing. And honestly, That should be something that can be easily fixed. But both people have to want to fix it. All right, let's do these birthday shout outs. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious April 24th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special because they are special because they are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They get number one out the box, Shanice Souter. Happy birthday to you. And More Easy Alice. Happy birthday. I guess it's really Alice More Easy. And also Travis James and Michael Ford. And last but not least, my girl Rhonda Latoya Richardson. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious April 24th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up this too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out. Rock on and do the damn to rock out. Rock on and do the damn rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Let me adjust my beads, my bones for shit talkers. You know what I'm saying? Shit talkers and dick eaters. Yeah. Go hard, go for yours, and remember, man, spending your whole relationship being mad at somebody makes you feel like you really ain't nobody. Why would you put up with the disrespect? Somebody always yelling, coming at your neck. Maybe it's something deeper than that. Yo, she just gave head to 4 niggas act. Same time, same rhyme, same crime. Every time you forgive them, they come back living. Act like that nothing never happened. And when you remind them of the disrespect, they start snapping. Well, you gonna put up with that? Well, you might be mad at them for years, still rolling with tears. Beers that you're drinking, thinking it's getting bad and chill. Yeah, for the whole relationship, you mad and will you do something that you supposed to. Oh, yeah, that's on you. People treat you how do you... let me get it right. People treat you the way that you let them treat you, and no matter how cold it is, they're gonna still heat you up. Temperatures rising 103. You sick as a dog, and they treating you like you in the fog, and they can't see or hear nothing that you saying. You going to church every Sunday in the mosque, and you praying for a better time, for a better rhyme, for a better father, sister, and a mom. But the time's gonna come when you gotta act. Even if you gotta hit it from the back and sack. Yo, let it off. Make sure you get it off. Yo, if they can't speak to them, you'll get away from them. All right, let's go. Fuck it. It ain't on tonight. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death, resuscitate y'all, and love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night with another Daily Go Get 'Emism show. But we'll be back on at 1 a.m. tomorrow night instead of 2. Hold on. Who's this? Mixed by Kibi? You said gay, go to bed, papa. Oh, you mad because I told you to go eat a dick. Oh, you salty. You salty. Listen, I can get rid of you in a second. Normally I wouldn't, but I think I'm going to do it just to be mean. So fuck you. Fuck you and your mom's, your dirty ass sister that used the tampons twice. You know what I mean? Fuck all y'all side. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right. So we'll be back on tomorrow night at 1 a.m. y'all. So make sure y'all come on through. And it's the music show tomorrow. So, you know, we're going to have a music topic. We're going to have fun. We're going to sing along. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Hey, goodbye. Hit the like button, y'all. Share the show. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. And that's going to do it. Peace.